Hello everybody! Hey, as we normally do here. Wait a minute, something's wrong here, guys. Feels like I'm on my own. Don't know if you guys can actually hear me or not, but yeah, I feel like a bit of one man short here, guys. I don't know what's going on here. But welcome to the Snowflake Show. This is season what season are we in? Yeah, season 2. Episode 21. I'm your co-host Reganelite alongside. Does appear to be short straw here, guys. I don't know what's happened here. Oh, I can see him in the chat, but I can't see him here, guys. I've been. It seems we have. Yeah, seems Lee has disappeared, guys. I've heard a rumour that he might be in France. I actually heard he was kidnapped by a guy named AllShorts, but apparently that's not the case because he is here in the chat, so I can't really go with that one, guys. But yes, so guys, welcome to the Snowflake Show. Just in case, so great to see everybody here. I will come with the guys in the chat in a moment, but let's just address the elephant in the room. That is not Brexit, unfortunately, but what's going on? Why is there not a special guest? Why is Reganelite on his own? Like, so what's happening? So Lee is unavailable to do the show. So I have put together a bit of a show for you guys. I have been able to get use some of the animations that Lee does because for the show. Someone asked in the chat, which I believe it was Ginger's asking, why no special guest? I'm going to be flat out straight with you guys. I don't know how to do what Lee Corne does with this show, guys. When it comes to the animations, the swipes, and having both of us on at the same time, I can't do any of that, guys. I've literally just come back from my 2-week holiday and I'm back into work. I've just had no time to get my head around what Lee does, guys. So I need you guys to please understand that. I know, obviously, it would be nice to get a special guest on, but if I had agreed to it, I would have to basically spend all night trying to figure out how to do what he does, and I'm not going to do that, guys. Especially when I work full time. So that's the reason why I made that decision. I would have, yes, obviously, bringing on AllShorts or Daily Blase or Graham, any one of those, if my lads, absolute fantastic guys, you know, getting one of them on would have been a fantastic idea, guys. But I just wouldn't know how to go about getting them on the show, guys. So that's the legit reason, yeah. So don't worry, we've still got a show for you guys. I've got some stuff for you. I've got some funny news, got some good news, got some plenty of content, and believe it or not, I've even got notes, believe it or not. So, who have we got in the chat today? Some guy called Reganelite is apparently in the chat. I don't know how he got on there, and I'm here as well. Bit weird, that one. Hello, Gingers, good to see you there. Good to see you, Lee Corne. I don't know why you're not on. You're keeping it, just watching over everything that's going on here. SDW, good evening. Yeah, good. Hope you're well. Chatty Rat, good to see you there. Ben Shaw's, good to see you. So Larry the Cat, love to the family. So Larry, Fearless Wolf is here, good to see you. Kendra's here, good to see you. Lefty Boater is here as well. Good evening, Jow, good to see you there as well. I've been abandoned. Yes, Kendra, I have been abandoned. I know. He's gone to the chat rather than come on the show. It's disgraceful, I know. 91 Leeds, good evening there. Good to see you. And number 3, good to see you there as well. So, yep, quite a few of you guys just here in the chat. I've already put it in the comments on there, guys. But I'm watching it through the phone. I can't have it on the. I've only got 2 monitors here. I don't have 3 like Lee does. So it will be a bit delayed the chat when it comes up, guys. Just let me know if there's any voice issues or anything whatsoever. Just put it down. Just put it down in the chat, guys, and I'll respond accordingly. Right, they're going to be hearing a lot of clicking as well because I haven't like numbered all the keyboards because I literally just got home from work about an hour and 10 minutes ago. But we have new news. Not exactly as flamboyant as you would like, but here's some of the notes, guys, from this week. Hopefully you guys can see it. It's clearly, I hope it's clear enough for you guys to see on there, but I'm just going to run it down for you guys. So some of the news from the week. So first of all, from Byline Times, a female Met police officer has been cleared of domestic abuse allegations after a 3-year probe triggered by controlling a senior police ex said. So that's from Byline Times. From Sky News, Chancellor is comfortable with a recession if it brings down inflation. Jeremy Hunt says he feels an obligation to support the Bank of England in its decisions as a way of ensuring prosperity and economic growth. Another one from The Guardian is Suella Braverman's bill could lead to 3,000 asylum seekers being deported a month. The leaked document over the illegal migration bill also says legal aid fees will need to rise in order to ensure the legal cover. Another one from Byline Times, it's a whistleblower exposing the alleged systematic staffing problems in the NHS hotline. I did a long video on that one, guys, on my channel if you guys want to find out more about that one. But yeah, it just I'll just give a little bit of it away. So basically they did a lot of not just cutting in terms of bodies, but the training in particular was cut down, according to the whistleblower, to making it almost impossible for them to deal with important calls within that realm. BBC News, Post Office using racist terms for sub-postmasters in an official guidelines. Yes, official guidelines. I did do a video on my channel with that, but yeah, official guidelines, guys. Yeah, I know, crazy. But they have changed that since then, obviously. But yeah, they did state that. Also from The Guardian, shops will close. Soaring costs of potato batters, British chippies, the once humbled low-cost staple, more than double in price, putting many fish and chips shops at risk. So from The Guardian, there is a risk, guys, of fish and chip shops obviously closing down. I hate to see that, obviously. We wouldn't be British without our fish and chips, that is for sure. I'm sure you guys have been aware of the story over the weekend. There was from the airport e-gate failures. They could be a risk to national security as there are long queues and scenes of utter chaos at the UK border due to nationwide problems with e-gates at ports and airports. So there was obviously chaos over the weekend as people were going away for the summer holiday, for the week off, obviously, with regards to the because it's half-term week, so school's out, so people going away on the holidays and all that kind of stuff. Absolute pandemonium at the airport. What a surprise, guys. BBC News, food price cap will not make a difference, says retailers. So there was talk, obviously, of a food price cap being introduced by the government. As of recording, I have not heard anything that says that there will be a cap of any sorts, as far as I'm aware. I will come back to you guys in the chat. Don't worry, I will. Guardian, more than 90 English primary schools to close or face closure for lack of pupils. Guardian analysis lays bare the effect of dwindling pupil numbers and associated funding amid the rising housing and childcare costs. So yeah, of course, I'm just highlighting this one. Obviously, I covered this on Monday's live stream. If you guys were there on the Snowflake Viewpoint, which is every Monday 9 o'clock on my channel at Reganelite. If you guys are not doing anything on Monday night and you want to get some politics and news and what's happening in the world, you can always come and check me out there. So yeah, I did cover that on there. Also from The Guardian, 30 water treatment works release 11 billion litres of raw sewage in a year, a study has suggested. That's another one I covered as well. Sky News, astonishing betrayal. The Tories face backlash for scrapping animal welfare bill aimed at protecting pets and livestock. Yeah, so the animal welfare bill is being scrapped by the government, so animals being left to fend for themselves. Just more Tory rhetoric there. And obviously you guys were aware last week as well, there was a car crashing into Downing Street's gates. If you guys saw the clip online, it wasn't very much a full-scale crash. It was more like a slow crash into the gates. Still don't know. I'm assuming it's just allegedly just some crazy guy. I don't think it was terrorist related. I don't. Probably would have been someone from Reform. I'm probably alleging. I just don't understand the reasoning behind it. Probably had a few drinks, yeah, on that one. To be fair, the guy. NHS data breach. Trust shares patients' details with Facebook. That's from the Guardian as well. And finally, the Met Police are to stop attending emergency mental health calls. That one I've covered as well in the video. It's absolutely shocking to say the least, you know, because mental health, as you guys know, is a major thing. So yes, I'm just going to come back on before we switch over to the main news. Let's see, have we had some more bodies come in? Daily Blase, good to see you there. I hope you're well. If I've missed anybody else who's come in the chat, I think I said hello to 91 Leads. Cash Dummy, good to see you. I hope you're well. Good to see you there. Duke Vengeance, I've been running on high power all day, you said. Okay. On one surface is right about over there. Lefty Barrow, haha, you were in the wrong part of Maypole where Angelina Christie got the name of Miss Maypole. Fact! Okay. 2 filling tomorrow. £200. Number 3. Good God, £200. 200. That's just absolutely terrible. Oh, absolutely ridiculous, mate. Soon I shall visit the kitchen in Scenery and get my bacon, says Jow. Oh, I wouldn't mind some bacon myself, you know. It's very filling, a healthy meal. Yeah, right, grass must be filling too. Okay, right, let's, shall we go straight into the first story? Oh, I'm just going to make sure, I close that. It's going to be fading, guys, not the fancy stuff that you get from Mr. Lee Corne. So we start with The Guardian, guys. It's the turd that just won't flush, guys. Boris Johnson. The COVID inquiry, guys. There has been an update. Boris Johnson hands over WhatsApps and notes to the Cabinet Office. The former Prime Minister gives strands of documents to the Cabinet Offices, challenging officials to pass them on. Oh God. It's just getting, it's going to get feisty, that's for sure, this whole thing. So, Boris Johnson has handed over a major cache of WhatsApp messages and notebooks to the Cabinet Office, challenging it to release the documents unredacted to the COVID inquiry. In a move that will pose a major headache for the government, Johnson suggested Whitehall officials should urgently disclose the content of the public inquiry. His provocation came as senior Conservatives urged the government to back down and avoid a protracted legal battle over the issue. William Wagner, I said that wrong, guys, who chairs the Commons Constitutional Affairs Committee, said the inquiry had the powers and authority to request evidence it sees fit to consider, and that the Cabinet Office should comply with both the spirit and the letter of how the inquiry is constructed. Oh my God, my words. Where's Lee to speak on my behalf? Robert Buckland, a former Justice Secretary, instead called for a compromise to avoid an ugly turf war. There needs to be a disclosure with agreed redactions, he said. I support the government's argument about the need for ministers and officials to work in a safe place, but the inquiry has agreed terms of reference and is entitled to ask for material relevance to the ambit of its work. As the pressure mounted, Cabinet Office officials were scrambled to respond to the COVID inquiry chair, Heather Hallett. God, sorry guys, I'm losing my voice here. Heather Howlett by her 4 p.m. deadline on Thursday. She has demanded WhatsApp messages and notebooks from Johnson and text from his number 10 Henry Cook. The government has been resisting, in part because some senior figures fear more potential requests could follow concerning other ministers who are still in post. It emerged earlier this week that the government had previously been in possession of Johnson's documents, but after officials looked through the files and decided they were not relevant to the inquiry, the Cabinet Office said it no longer had them. No longer had them. I'm just going to stop for a sip there. Make the font bigger. I can't read it on my phone. How can I make it bigger? Not while I'm live. Not while I'm live, Lee. I don't really want to fiddle about with it while I'm live. Just had a tramway wealth going on the Bugsworth tomorrow. I had a snarky email from Crit about overstating. Number 3, infinite power. I've been running high on power all day. Oh yeah, I've seen that. You're a squatter, the lefty boater. Yeah, I don't know if I can. I can't really make it bigger, Lee. That's the problem. Not really too sure how to do that from here. I've lost my train of thought now. Where was I? It had merged earlier this week that the government had previously been in possession of Johnson's documents, but after officials looked through the files and decided they were not relevant to the inquiry, the Cabinet Office said it no longer had them. Johnson had said in a statement on Wednesday afternoon that the Cabinet Office had had access to the materials for months. It said that the government officials and their lawyers were invited to its office to view the files on a number of occasions. Further material was provided to the Cabinet Office this week, and Johnson's spokesperson said he was perfectly happy for the inquiry to have access to his materials in whatever form it requires. They had also said he had cooperated with the inquiry in full and looked forward to continuing to do so. If you're wondering, guys, why I keep doing this, it's because the chat's just down here in front of me on the phone, in case you're wondering why I'm doing that. Just in case you're wondering, what is this guy doing? They also said he had cooperated with the inquiry in full and looked forward to continuing to do so. Rishi Sunak was urged to confirm that the full documents would now be given to the inquiry. Labour's Deputy Leader Angela Rayner said the Cabinet Office had ran out of excuses and should stop trying to conceal the truth. Well, I think they're going to make a few squiggly edits here and there. They might. Methinks. We know there's dirt here on the Cabinet, on the Sunak and others. We know that's happening, guys. Come on, we know it. If other ministers are hoping to hide behind the same smoke and mirrors to tactics to dodge public scrutiny by the inquiry, it is increasingly clear that they don't have a leg to stand on, she says. The Liberal Democrats MP Christine Jarine said he can't use Boris Johnson anymore as an excuse to avoid hanging over the vile evidence. Bereaved families are still waiting for answers. They deserve so much better than yet another conservative stitch up. Yeah, people want answers. They want answers for this. Given officials fear the issue is a limitless test and handling over Johnson's files could mean other ministers would have to do the same, they may be forced to challenge Lady Harriet's rulings in the courts. Why? Just give them what they want. Hello, Keir. Good to see you there. A judicial review is said to be becoming more likely, but tackling legal action against the head of public inquiry at such a scale would be unprecedented. Jonathan Jones, a former head of the government's legal department, said officials should not refuse to share the documents to save ministers' blushes. Harriet had requested Johnson's exchange with about 40 people, including Sunak. I'm not sure that it won't be at all surprising if some of these ministers would prefer not to disclose, but because it's politically embarrassing or personally embarrassing, Jones said. That would be very surprising because you're talking about potentially a large amount of material, some of it on a personal basis, but those not of reasons without holding it. If it's relevant, it should be disclosed. Robert Butler, a former cabinet secretary and head into the inquiry intelligence about Iraq's weapons of mass destruction, said he thought Harriet was being pretty unreasonable. He said, when I did my inquiry on WAD, we had to wiggle information out of the government. I followed the president of the Falklands inquiry and asked the permanent secretary of each department to give their personal undertaking that all information was relevant would be released to us. That worked, and subsequently I've never discussed anything that wasn't released that should have been. Stephen Riker, a behavioural scientist who advised the government during the COVID pandemic, said the standoff was symptomatic of ministers' lack of understanding of the importance of trust. If there is anything that is more cohesive of trust than releasing information which shows rule breaking, then it seemed to try and hide information about rule breaking, he said. Absolutely, guys. I mean, it's just a case of, well, if you've done nothing wrong, you've got nothing. If you've done nothing wrong, guys, you've got nothing to hide. What's the wrong with sharing the information? Surely it should be fine, shouldn't it, guys? You'd think so. It takes us for fools at two levels: the information that is being hidden and what is hidden. What is more is once we have lost trust and we think all the government as others are venal and corrupt, the blacked out passages lead us to imagine unlimited transgressions, which are probably worse than what did go on. The Cabinet Office maintains it has provided more than 55,000 documents, 24 personal witness statements and 8 corporate statements to the Halliot inquiry. It has argued that we are firmly in the view that the inquiry does have the powers to request unambiguous, irrelevant information what is beyond the scope of this investigation. This includes the WhatsApp messages of government employees, which are not about work but instead are entirely personal and relevant to their private lives. Yeah. Well, I'm just going to come back to this one. Oh, no, not that one. That one's kind of slow. Oh, I'll just leave it on this for the moment. Let's see, what what have you guys been saying in the chat? Long time no see. Everyone's saying hello to everyone. I see you're running Marcus time, says Lefty Bow to Alistair Keir. Tommy Gunn says Starmer came out again with what no one wanted to hear. Yeah, I know, Tommy. Good to see you. I hope you're well. Yeah, Keir's not exactly helping himself with making Brexit work. It's just not going to wash with people. It's going to hurt his chances at the general election, that is for sure. Poor Boris, what is love? Honey, don't hurt me anymore. He's poor at presentation and leadership in my view. Number 3 says to Tommy Gunn. Yeah. Good evening, peeps. Hope you're all well. Just popping in to see you all. Hello, Mad Monk. Hope you're well. Good to see you popping in. I think most of the Tory party should be in boom and missing for the 13 years of lies and corruption, says 91 Leeds. Yep, totally agree. Ahoy, ahoy. I'm late to the canteen. No, don't worry, Nossolini. Good to see you. I hope you're well. Did I say hello to you, Ben Shaw? I don't know if I did. I hope you're well. Agree, just the first 3 words of the sentence would do. Yeah, guys, let's move on, because I've got quite a few. I might have given myself more than I can chew. I'm probably not going to keep switching back and forth. That'd probably not be a good idea. So this one from Sky News, guys. Families on universal credits to receive hundreds more pounds from the end of June. So parents on benefits will be able to claim 50% more in childcare payments as the government looks to encourage people into work or increase their hours. So families on benefits will be able to claim hundreds of pounds more in childcare payments from the end of June, the government has announced. So people on universal credit will see their maximum childcare payments rise by nearly 50% from June the 28th as the government tries to get more people back to work. Parents eligible for help through the universal credit system will be able to claim back up to £951 for one child and £1,630 for 2 or more children, an increase of 47% from the previous cap of £646 for one child and £1,108 for 2 or more children. Parents who are eligible for the support will also have some of their childcare costs paid up front for the first month if they are either become employed or increase for their work hours, in a move designed to help those struggling to take on jobs or getting into debt under the current system due to the hefty upfront costs. Those parents will receive up to 85% of the childcare costs back before their next month's bills are due, the Department of Work and Pensions has said. The shake-up of the benefit system was announced as part of Jeremy Hunt's budget back in March, and is aimed at encouraging claimants into work to increase their hours. Mr Hunt also announced an expansion of childcare in the budget in households where all adults worked at least 16 hours. Every child from the 9 months old to school age will get 30 hours of free childcare per week by September 2025. The Chancellor's spring budget came as unemployment rose to 1.3 million in the month to March 2023, while 2.5 million people are thought to be out of work because of the long-term sickness. The Minister for Children's Family and Wellbeing, Claire Coutinho, said childcare should not be a barrier to work, but the expenses have previously meant parents who've had to choose between working and looking after the child. We are supporting families with the largest ever expansion of free childcare, making sure that places will be available to parents who need them. This will save a working parent using 30 hours a week on an average of £6,500. We have already announced plans to boost the amount of government pays childcare providers, Now we're knocking down barriers to recruiting and retraining the talented staff that provide such wonderful care for our children. The shake-up of the Department of Education is accompanied by consultation from the Department of Education this week aimed at increasing the early workforces in England. Our recruitment campaign could also be launched next week and next year, and will look at introducing new accelerated apprenticeships and degree apprenticeship routes. Labour's Shadow Education Minister Helen Hayes said that the Conservatives are piling pressure on a broken system. Their plans come with no plan to increase the workforce, who are so critical to delivering on the expansion of childcare. What parents and children both need is higher standards, better availability across our country, and flexible systems that support families at the end of parental leave to the end of primary school. Labour has set out clear plans for fully funded breakfast clubs for every child in every primary school in England where they can be delivered, and will not leave parents scrambling to find provision. Yeah, I would say it's something better than nothing. I mean, okay, you're doing something, government, but it's still not going to make a difference. It's just not going to push people back into work, really, if I'm honest, guys. I mean, it's a welcome boost, but it's not really something that's going to really light the world on fire, if I'm honest, guys. Let's just have a look in the chat. What are you guys saying? Making Brexit look it's like trying to pee against the world. Not very effective and a bad and dirty idea, says Jow. 91 Leeds. Rishi Sunak could remove students from migration figures to help meet his pledge. Tory MPs have suggested disentangling students' visa statistics from net migration data and help bring down the numbers. Just have to fiddle about with the numbers, don't they? Matt Green was good today, said number 3. Was he? I haven't seen his clip. I haven't seen it. He's seen his video. Good evenings to you, Sir Daily Blase, says Sir Larry. Come here, you know what you want to. You can get around Luxembourg with English, as Cash Dummy. Oh, okay. Well, give me a reason to go to Luxembourg. Everyone's saying hi. And how are you going to pay for all of this? Euro clearance? Oh wait, says Joe. Yes, exactly. Where are we going to pay for this? Allowed to vote again, but only in the last place that I voted. 15-year abroad ban lifted. Now allowed to live in London. F them. Yeah. Let's move on, guys. Just going to close that window. I've got don't worry, I've got a funny video coming up for you guys. I'll try and keep an eye on the time to keep you guys with plenty of content. Just in case you guys are wondering, I'll just remind you guys in the chat, for those of you who have trackled in and haven't heard from the start of the show, Lee is on holiday at the moment, so that's why he's not here tonight, and I'm running solo. As for people asking why there's no special guest, I don't have the stuff set up to get a special guest on, guys. So at some point I will learn that, but just in case, for those wondering why it's just me tonight, but I do have plenty of stuff for you guys, don't you worry. So, catalogue of failing in Home Office flawed asylum system revealed in a UN report. So the United Nations Refugee Agency uncovers the cases of which trafficking victims were missed, and a child victim of sexual abuse was given no support. This is from The Independent. Guys, if you want to see the links for any of the articles that are put up today, they'll be in the description or for you guys as well. Just before I go any further, guys, as well, if we have any of them, I don't think we've got any of the moderators. I think it's normally Pedulous, I think, is one of any of the moderators here. In the description down below, guys, in the description is links to some of AllShorts' channels and Patreons and GoFundMe, as some of you guys may know. Our good friends AllShorts. He is still on strike. He got another strike, sort of, so he's not going to be back again on his main channel until Sunday. He is confirmed yesterday on Max's live stream So if you guys can support him in any way, please do so. It would be greatly appreciated. The links for all his stuff is down in the description, guys, just in case you guys aren't aware. So anything to support him would be greatly appreciated. Anyway, back to the news. So a devastating catalogue of failings in the Home Office, flawed and ineffective asylum systems has been uncovered in a damning UN report. The 8-month audit of the UK's asylum system by the UN Refugee Agency, the UNHCR, picked apart the government's immigration policy to reveal a deeply dysfunctional department. The 200-page report found that children were wrongly detained as adults. Trafficking victims were potentially missed. Vulnerable people were locked up, and law and government policies were violated. It concluded that officials had inadequate training and interview skills to identify victims of torture, trafficking and rape, incompetence, inaccurate and unreliable information being taken from asylum seekers. Children were accused of lying about their age by officials with no formal training or guidance. Home Office staff were wrongly discouraging people from claiming asylum or trying to persuade them to withdraw claims. Asylum seekers were being left in limbo at a higher cost to the government because they were deemed ineligible after passing through safe countries. Absolutely infuriating. The report, in which Home Office staff told the frustration that the government's policies were slowing down the system and driving up costs, come a day after the Independent revealed that officials were considering strike action over the plan to deport people to Rwanda. Yvette Cooper, the Shadow Home Secretary, said the report exposes a host of failures in the initial processing of asylum seekers, failures that are holding up the system and contributing to the damning delays. The Home Secretary needs to stop posturing and start fixing the asylum system, and she and her party are broken, she told the Independent. Absolutely, don't really need to add more than that, really, on that bit. John Fettenby, the Refugee Council Chief Policy Analyst, said men, women and children have already been left in limbo for far too long. The illegal migration bill will potentially leave hundreds of thousands of people in a permanent state of limbo, unable to get on with their lives, he added. If the government is serious about tackling the asylum backlog and reducing the number of people making dangerous journeys to get to the UK, it needs to urgently change direction instead of this unworkable and unprincipled plan. The focus should be on giving people a fair and timely hearing in the UK and creating more safe ways for people to arrive. The following are among harrowing cases revealed by the UNHCR. Do we really want to look at these cases, guys? I don't think I really want to be fair. Guys, I am going to take the decision not to read. I'm going to take the decision not to read all of these because it's going to make me uncomfortable, and we don't want to. I'm not comfortable talking about them because, guys, I do want to try and. I do have a bit of a positive thing after this, so I don't think I want to read them. But guys, if you want to read them, there you can let me know. You can read it. You can check it out in the description. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Jal says these stories are getting more and more frequent. The UK is not just looking good and not just used to their imaginary opposition of the Tory government. Migrants are complaining and people here are listed. Those lovely childcare payments with hardly any childcare place available and grossly underpaid staff. Cheers, Jesus, you told Hunt, says Sir Larry the Cat. Yeah. Tory don't get tasered. Good evening. Hope you're well. Good to see you there. Free the AllShorts. The AllShorts. Yes, free the AllShorts, guys. I've heard so many stories about this. I just stopped. Yeah, I know, Joe. I know. Yeah, not a nice. Yeah, there's. Sometimes, guys, we don't like to. I cover so much. I cover some other stories, obviously, world stories, and that, as you guys may know, on my channel. But I think it's important. Sometimes we just need to talk about them, even if we don't want to. Let's. Shall we lighten the mood, as a certain guy would like to say. Let me know if just give me a thumbs up or thumbs down or say something if you can't hear anything. But Matt Green has decided to drop a video today. Let's hear what he had to say.
So, Minister, are you going to hand over all of the documents to the COVID inquiry? Look, it's important that we learn all of the lessons from COVID and ensure that all of the lessons that can be learned are learned. Yes, but in fact, we'll even try and learn all of the lessons that can't be learned in case they turn out to be lessons that can be learned, because we're keen to learn all of the lessons, as long as they can be learned, right? We just love learning lessons. Okay, but will you hand over all of the documents? We've already handed over tens of thousands of documents to the inquiry in a spirit of transparency and candour. Yes, but what about the documents they're specifically asking for? We've handed over tens and tens of thousands of documents. Okay, but tens and tens and tens of thousands of documents. Imagine a whole pile of documents, loads more than that. In fact, a whole room full, 10,000 rooms full. Yes, but tens and tens and tens and tens of thousands of documents. Letters, emails, notebooks, post-its, takeaway menus, wine lists, receipts for fridges, instructions on how to mend a swing, bills for briefing rooms. Okay, but all we want to do is not hand over a few hundred, possibly not even incriminating or embarrassing messages, in a spirit of transparency and candour. Because look, tens of thousands versus hundreds. Come on. Are you prepared to get into a legal battle over this? The government is carefully considering its position, but is confident in the approach it has taken. So you are willing to go to court. The government is carefully considering its next steps, but is confident in the position it has taken. Are you just going to keep repeating what you just said? My position is considerately confident, and we're approaching the next steps with carefulness. So you're not going to release the documents. We're approaching this in a spirit of transparency and candour, but also clearness and honesty, and integrity and see-throughness. Are you reading that from a thesaurus? No, I think you'll find on that I am completely translucent. Why are you trying to keep hold of these documents? We're talking about private messages from the former Prime Minister. It's sensitive material. Can you give me an example? Well, when he sent a WhatsApp saying F me, it's not clear whether that was an instruction to his lover or his reaction on seeing the latest COVID death figures after Eat Out to help out. Thank you, Minister. Probably both, to be honest. Next up, as Al Pacino announces he's expecting his fourth child at the age of 83, we ask, when was the last time you started a project with absolutely no intention of seeing it through?
Oh, God, Matt Green. Absolute legend, guys. If you're not a subscriber to his channel, why are you not? Absolutely brilliant, brilliant, brilliant stuff. Even in all, I see we got to our XPM queues. XPM, yes. Yes, good evening, Tom. Hope you're well there. Where's Jeremy Paxson when you need me? Oh, those were the days, weren't they? Those were the days. Oh. So, where are we on? We're on 21:37. So I've got this story, and then I've got one funny and good news story for you guys. So we may even finish up early. I don't know. We'll see. So, bit on the Ukraine war, guys. So I was having a hard time finding some out of world stories. I didn't really want to go outside of Sudan or anything like that, or other conflicts that I normally cover on my channel. I want to kind of keep things around the same we normally do, but a bit of anger from Wagner. This is from Euronews, guys. So Wagner boss blames Russian military for drone attacks, the US-aid nuclear plant attack ban. So here are some of the latest developments from the Russia-Ukraine war. Oh, by the way, I'm just going to say this now. You guys know, you should know this by now. I'm just going to repeat it. If I mispronounce words and everything, it's because I'm not very good at pronouncing, but I'm going to try my best. Oh God, can we stop with the videos, please? Oh my God, what did I do? Now I'm just playing with buttons now. Right. So Pyrozin blames drone attack on Russian senior figures. So Wagner chief Yevgeny Pyrozin has blamed the latest Moscow drone attacks on senior Russian military officials living in the suburbs. In a message posted on Telegram, the head of Russia's mercenary group pinpointed the failures of Russia's defense ministry that allowed the drones to reach Moscow. "How dare you allow the drones to reach Moscow?" he said in his regular aggressive tone. "And what do the ordinary people do when drones with explosives crash into their windows?" he continued. Pyrozin has been a vocal critic of Russia's military and political elites, routinely claiming that they were not doing enough to help the fighters in the battle for Bakhmut. Why is everyone talking about Wagner, but who are the Russian other mercenaries? Says Euronews in a tweet. Russia President Vladimir Putin has blamed Ukraine for the drone attacks, accusing the opposition of targeting civilians to invoke mass scare. The Russian government has also blamed the terrorist attack on Ukraine, while Kiev denies involvement. Russia says there have been more attacks along its border with Ukraine. After Tuesday's rare drone attack on Moscow, Russia is also accusing the Ukrainian army of shelling the town of Shabisko, located along the Russian-Ukrainian border near Belorod. Images posted on Telegram show apartment blocks and private houses have been damaged and cars burned. 4 people have been injured, according to Governor Glazkov. Did I say that right? Someone will tell me if I pronounced that right. Glazkov? I'm not saying that word, guys. But in all seriousness, I did do a proper updated video on my channel, but I wanted to kind of give you guys just some insight on what's been happening in the Ukraine war. Ukraine has also carried out strikes in the occupied Lugansk region, according to Russian installed officials. Moscow appointed officials said Ukrainian armed forces shelled the village of Karpenty, which killed 5 people and wounded around 90 more. This is what they're claiming, by the way, so it's not factual, guys. A new US aid package are to boast the drones. So a US military aid package for Ukraine is expected to be announced this week, with a total of up to 280 million euros, and including drone mutations, US officials said on Tuesday. The drone ammunition comes after unmanned aircraft targeted Moscow on Tuesday. A US defense official told AP, that's AP News for those who don't know, the drone strikes would not affect the weapons aid package the US is providing Ukraine. The new aid package will come in a tense moment in the war, with the latest drone attack following Russia's seizure of the eastern Ukrainian city of Bakhmut after a 9-month battle. Yeah, they absolutely threw absolutely everything at that one. Ukraine is also showing signs of its long-awaited spring counteroffensive may already be underway, although this cannot be confirmed. Yeah, I have seen there has been some stories that it started in some places. I know last week on the show, me and Lee highlighted some of the pushback around the nearby areas of Bakhmut, but not actually counterattacking into Bakhmut. So it's not really been the official kind of counterattack sort of thing. Just to be clear, so nothing's been official, but there's obviously there's a lot of misinformation out there, so we should always be careful with what we read, to be fair. But I think we'll definitely have a look if part of the news package. We'll definitely probably have a look at the map next week, myself and Lee, to see where things are. Washington has maintained an agreement in its place with Ukraine that prevents it from doing any US provided drones to target Russia. US officials did not provide details on the drone munitions in the new aid package or specify which unmanned aircraft would use them. Just before we go any further, let's have a look in the chat. Who have we got in the chat? Just see what else has been done. Hello David, good to see you there. Hello Simon says, good to see you there as well. Was Jezza the last one the other day? Like Ding Dong, the ex-Justice Secretary to Kendra. Simon says, I have the tiger. All low quality targets should have been hitting bombers on the tarmac. False flag drone, says Tom. So easy to shoot down. Yeah, I know. Yeah, easy to shoot down. Jal says the Russian government acts like some drunk Russian military here. They get drunk, attack people, get up by lateral beating, and then blame the people defending themselves. Must be cultural. Yep. Yeah, nothing more there. So UN urges to ban on nuclear plant attacks. So the UN nuclear chief has urged Russia and Ukraine to ban attacks on Europe's largest nuclear plant in order to avoid the danger of a catastrophic incident on Tuesday. Yeah, can we not have a nuclear plant go off? I really would not like that. I'm sure nobody else here would want that either. Rafael Grossi said the world is fortunate a nuclear accident hasn't happened already in the Zaragoza nuclear power plant during the address in the UN Security Council. Yeah, it's actually quite amazing that there hasn't been. I hope I didn't jinx it, but you know, in all seriousness, you know, it's the catastrophic damage will be untolerable. Never mind just the environment, from the environmental point of view as well. Grossi asked the 15 Security Council members to support the 5 principles, stressing that they are to no one's detriment, to everyone's benefit. And the UN, Ukraine's UN ambassador Sergei Kostygiska accuses Russia of continuing to actively use the nuclear plant for military purposes. He claimed 500 Russian military personnel at the plant, along with heavy weapons, mutilations and explosions. The threat of dangerous accidents are a result of these irresponsible and criminal actions hang over us, he said. Ukraine takes notes of Grossi's 5 principles, but urges him to add several more. He added, starting with the withdrawal of all Russian personnel from the Zaragoza plant. Russia's UN ambassador Vasily Nabreska denied that Russia had ever attacked the Zarenica plant. You guys, apologies for my mispronunciation of words. Placed heavy weapons there or stationed military personnel. He accused He accused Ukraine of shelling the plant and said Russia will take more severe measures to respond to any Ukrainian attack. Russia claims to have destroyed Ukraine's last warship. Russia claims this morning it had destroyed a ship in Osta, describing it as the Ukrainian Navy's last remaining operational warship. This was on May the 29th as a result of a high-precision weapon strike by Russia's aerospace forces on the mooning area of military vessels in the port of Osta. The last warship of the Ukrainian Navy was destroyed, the Russian Defense Military said in a statement. AFP was unable to confirm this claim from an independent source. The Ukrainian Navy has yet to respond. The Yuri Ofko is a ship used for landing troops, formerly known as the Kurograd. It was renamed in 2006 in honour of the Ukrainian officer killed in 2015 near the Tower of Mariupol. In June 2022, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky decorated the ship's crew with their heroism in defending their country in the face of massive offensive by the Russian army. The ship was also used in 2014 to evacuate Ukrainian military personnel following Moscow's annexation of Crimea. And yet Westminster wants Scotland to pump the country full of nuclear power plants. Yeah. No, we can't have solar and wind. No, Tommy, we can't do that. No. We have to go nuclear. Clearly, Ukraine is at fault here. They retaliated first. But what should happen? Number 3, the Home Office is trying to ban protests and silence the UK population. Yeah. Better Scotland and England, so they think keep you guys under control. Oh, you guys. All right, I think we heard enough from Ukraine, the Ukraine war, guys. Let's look at something a bit nicer. Hopefully, I'm just going to read some of this, and then I'm going to play the video of this story. So hopefully, you guys can read this. So this is from the Good News Network. So this is up. So normally I get good news, obviously, from Positive Outlook, but when we first started the show, I was using this website, but they weren't always getting many good many stories. But hopefully this one is a nice one. So this is an incredible moment. A 69-year-old stops a bank robbery with words and a hug. Power of words, guys, can really make a difference, you know. So what is this all about before we play the video? So when a struggling Californian attempts to alleviate his financial stresses by robbing a bank, Michael Amos Sr. recognized that it was out of sadness and not malice. Stepping in with words and eventually a hug, the 69-year-old Michael diffused a situation, potentially explosive situation, as the bank robber claimed he was carrying a bomb. Everything seemed a normal day for Amos, who walked into the Bank of the West in Woodlands, California, when he noticed a former neighbor of his speaking to the teller with irritation and depression in his voice. Unbeknown to Amos, the neighbor Eduardo Placina, who had passed a note to his teller claiming he was armed with explosives and demanding money to avoid detention. However, the fact that Placina's shirt was pulled over his nose and mouth mixed with the teller's frightening expression and quickly alerted Amos to the fact that all was not well. So I approached him and asked him and said, "What's wrong? Don't you have a job?" Amos told Good Morning America, he said, "There's nothing in this town for me, nothing in this town to me. I just want to go to prison." So I took him outside. I gave the man a hug right there in the door, said Amos. He started crying. The police arrived at the moment to take Pasiga into custody for attempted robbery. He later stated that he was in fact not all armed.
The man from California being hailed as a hero for stopping a bank robbery with his words. That's right, and a hug. Ariel Reshef is here now with details of this amazing story. Good morning to you, Ariel.
Good morning to you, Juju. Most people would think that they were in the wrong place at the wrong time, right? But Michael Armas Sr. says he was in exactly the right place to do the right thing.
This morning, surveillance images capturing a California bank robbery in progress.
You know, when you're in a bad situation, you feel it.
Michael Armas Sr. seen here just off to the side, quickly stepping in to calm the suspect. Armas was at the Bank of the West Monday morning to make a deposit, but instead found himself in the midst of a frightening ordeal.
Well, I was standing in line, and I was the next up to the window. And I noticed the guy 2 windows down had his face covered with his shirt.
The man walking up to the counter with his shirt over his face. Police say he passed a note to a teller saying he was armed.
And they were scared, and she kept looking at me, looking back at him, looking at me, so I had to say something, I had to do something.
Armas says he recognized the suspect, 43-year-old Eduardo Plasencia, a former neighbor and friend of his daughter, and immediately knew he needed to step in.
He said he had no job, there's nothing in this town for me.
Armas tried to comfort the man and suggested they go outside, where it all ended with a simple gesture, a hug, then an arrest.
I felt compassion for the man, you know what I mean? What could happen to this guy to make him want to go in there and just throw his life away?
And officers arrived on the scene while the two were outside and Plasencia was taken into custody for attempted robbery. It turns out he was not armed. Police tell us they do appreciate that Armas stepped in to help his fellow community members. A little bit of bravery and a lot of empathy on display there.
Yeah, passion. What a...
So, sometimes, guys, look, obviously, everybody has their own battles to deal with, and sometimes just the way your words can make a huge difference. And this story is not so, I mean, it may not seem like the most heartwarming stories, because we've shared some heartwarming stories, but I think it's important just how influential our words can be when we use them in the right way, guys. And I'm just glad that yes, he wasn't armed or anything, but on another day, another person, another situation, that could have been someone armed. That could have been someone with a gun. Yes, that could have been someone with an explosive. And words can have a real powerful influence on somebody. A hug, that's not the US. We use guns. Oh, dear. A word can make a huge difference, says Jal. Yes, that's why on my Instagram page I do quotes, thoughts and positive vibes, and don't have anything political on my Instagram page, just in case you guys are wondering. It's my place to get away from negativity, in case anyone wonders why. I was busy doing... Okay. No one wants a hug from a US cop. Technically, I wasn't a US cop, but yeah, I understand. I understand why you said that one. Would have come with a knife in the back. Oh, God, Ginger. Okay, so I've got one more story for you guys. Hopefully, I don't get bombarded with other bits in the way. I just thought this one was absolutely stupid. Don't know if it's true or not, but I'm just like gonna laugh about it, guys, and I hope you guys have a laugh with me about this one. Food inspector ordered a reservoir to be drained after dropping his phone during a selfie. I'm going to repeat that headline, guys, just so you guys know. So, a food inspector ordered a reservoir to be drained after dropping his phone during taking a selfie, guys. A government official in one of the world's most water-stressed countries has been suspended after ordering a reservoir to be drained to look for his dropped phone. Food inspector Rashid Fashish, a government official in India, dropped his Samsung smartphone in the Keshagesa Dam in the central state of Kashagishgar last week. He had gone to the reservoir for a picnic with friends and was taking a selfie when he dropped it, the Indian Express reported. At first, he asked divers to search for the device, claiming it contained sensitive government data. When this didn't work, he then asked for the reservoir to be drained using diesel pumps. During the space of 3 days, more than 2 million litres of water was drained from the reservoir. That's enough to irrigate at least 15,000 acres of land during India's extreme hot summer. Recent extreme temperatures in the country had led to severe water scarcity, causing crop losses, forest fires and power cuts. Mr. Vashes told reporters the water wasn't sustainable for irrigation and he'd received permission from senior officials to drain the dam. He was suspended after he was widely criticised for wasting a huge amount of water. To add insult to injury, after the phone was found, the waterlogged device wouldn't start. There are just some things you should just let go. I just find it incredibly insulting. You know, India is a very hot country. I covered actually a story today that dropped about India's temperatures, and now you see this story and you're just thinking, good God Almighty, how pathetic are some people? Like, you drop the phone, okay, it's got sensitive government data, okay, drain it all. What? You want to drain the whole reservoir for a phone? Yes, it has sensitive information on it. Yeah. How ridiculous is that, guys? Oh dear, oh dear. Right. Let me come back to this one. Right. Let's just have a quick look in the chat before we finish off. I'll probably be finishing in the next couple of minutes, guys. Maybe well-regulated militia, says Tom. The second most important, I agree, Tommy Gunn says, towards gingers. That's why it's important, right? It's not for shooting ducks, says Tommy. Well, it might be for shooting ducks, I don't know. Bit of an odd story, shall we say, more rather than funny, but still, the fact of draining the dam is incredibly stupid, is what I would say. Right, so guys, obviously, got a few minutes left, but I think we're gonna wrap this up here, guys. I know it's not been as bumpy, as enthusiastic and joyful and all, and the back and forth between myself and Lee Corne. But yeah, Lee's not here, guys. He's hiding in the chat, as you guys can clearly see. Guys, I really do appreciate you guys still coming out and supporting the Snowflake Show. I do apologise, obviously, you know, these things happen. People go on holiday, people get sick, things happen. Obviously, me and Lee is kind of like, last week we were together, and then 2 weeks ago I wasn't here, and Graham Hughes stepped in. Obviously, this week, Lee's not here. I've been able to set something up for you guys, so at least you guys got a show, at least. And we've had some stuff for you guys, of course. I believe we are back next week. I'm pretty certain Lee will be back next week, and we'll be able to go again, guys. So I just want to say, guys, big thank you guys for coming along. I really do appreciate it. If you can, hit that like button. I would be greatly appreciated, guys. It does help support the channel. We're so close to 100 subscribers as well. So if you share it across other social media platforms, we might just be able to get to that number. We would like to aim for 100 by the end of the year, but we might even do that much sooner. But you guys can help us do that. Every Wednesday, 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. UK time, we do the Snowflake Show. Whether it's myself or Lee Corne, we'll try to do one every week for you guys, as always. So I'm going to try to remember my words. So yeah, share across social media, and if you hit the bell notification icon, you'll be notified of when we go live as well. Also, guys, if you haven't seen in the descriptions as well, I have my own channel. Yes, I know. I've got my own channel. I mentioned it a few times. It's at Reganelite. Very simple. It's in the channel description. You guys want to check it out. I drop plenty of content on there for you guys, not just UK news but world news as well. I've been covering a lot of the conflict in Sudan lately as well. I have obviously been looking at other stuff as well, as not just UK, but I try to give a variety of news, and I obviously do short videos as well as keeping an eye on the conflict in Ukraine. So if you guys want to check that out as well. Also, we have a Discord server called the Snowflake server, which is completely free for you guys to join. Very easy to use. Yeah, you can use either on your computer or from a mobile device. There's a link for that also in the description. Lee, if you could, I would really appreciate it. I don't know if you can able to put any links for me. I really would be. You'd be a superstar if you can do that while I'm trying to juggle all this. Yeah, so if you guys, I'll be in the Snowflake after chat after once we wrap things up here, guys. So if you guys want to come and hang out there, you're more than welcome to. Anything else to add? I don't think so. I've got one more video for you guys. A friend of ours from a so-called friend from Portsmouth will be chatting, having in the video in just a moment, guys. Guys, as always, thank you guys so much for coming along. Thank you guys for supporting the Snowflake Show, and hopefully myself and Lee Corne will be back in full force for you guys. But don't go just yet. Don't go just yet. I've got one more little video for you guys before we go. Let me just, now I've got to play around with the buttons again. This man. It's not just Colin, guys. It's Femi as well. Believe it or not.
Has this government mishandled the COVID pandemic? Femi Olawale has researched this topic meticulously and he presents a body of evidence. He's joined by Colin from Portsmouth, who hasn't thought too much about it, but whom we've invited on the show for a sense of journalistic balance. Femi, I'll come to you shortly, but let's hear from Colin first as it's a little more positive. Colin.
I don't think they have mishandled it, no.
Femi.
Well, I mean, where do I even start? First of all, theoretically...
Thank you, Femi. Colin.
But I haven't even started yet.
Well, Femi, I'm trying to give you and Colin the exact same number of words so that it's a fair debate.
But I haven't said anything.
Well, you have. So far, you've uttered 10 more words than Colin, including the phrase, I've not said anything. So, Colin, would you like to add anything more to your answer?
I just think they've done a good job.
OK, you've got 3 words left. I'll let you finish.
This isn't how debates work.
8 words now, Colin.
No, good job, end of. Yeah.
OK, and any more words, Colin?
Oh, right, canoe, 3D printer, barbecue. Yeah, oh, hold on, is barbecue 3 words or 1?
I don't know, I've never been sure on that one. Depends on the spelling. OK, well, you've actually got 1 more word anyway, because Femi just said I.
What is happening?
OK, and that is the end of the debate. Well, it's quite clear who's won this, and impressively so, with 2 words to spare. Femi, I've got to admit, I was a little bit disappointed with your performance, considering your expertise.
I beat you, mate. Cheers, Femi, thanks for that, enjoyed that. See you on question time, mate, yeah? See you later, Andy.
Cheers, yeah, love to the family.
Yep, fair and biased debate, guys. That's what you get. Fair and biased debate. Guys, thanks so much for coming along. Hopefully I'll see you guys in the Discord server. Take care. Have a great week, everyone.